All right, so we are live. Thank you so much to everyone who's going to join us or who's joining us in this live stream. I have with me here Dr. Olufunke with me, and I'm glad that we're having this conversation. Today is International Women's Day, so I was like, okay, what can I do to be able to, to motivate women regarding today about their lives, about the kind of things that they are doing. And I decided, okay, why don't I go live and have a conversation with an amazing woman who is doing something specifically because of what she has decided to do today. You and your team, you were able to reach out to 25 women to share with you what they have been doing to become very successful in their lives, and you
Mm,
decided to give away the resource for free today. If I look at it, I just did a down payment for a hall that I'm going to be using for my birthday on the July 1st. And I know how much I usually put in every year. I started out with a 400-seater capacity, then went to 800-seater capacity, and
mm,
now I'm going to a 1,500-seater capacity. Money moves from my body. Every time I'm done with
right.
that event, I know how I feel financially because usually money leaves my pocket. But we do it because we want to improve the lives of people, and it's absolutely free that I do these events.
Exactly.
And I'm grateful that today you put together a resource to help women to understand what they need to do, the things that other individuals who are phenomenally successful in their
Mm,
endeavors are doing to become successful. So, Dr. Lufunke, I'm very excited and glad that we are doing this conversation today.
thank you.
I'm
Nice to
so
meet
excited
you.
and happy to have you here. So, guys, this is not just for women alone. You can learn things from women, men. You can learn things, a lot of things from women to also put into your life, into your business, and your relationships. Okay. So we're going to be having this conversation for the next 45 minutes to 60 minutes if time permits us um, on this live stream. So thank you so much. If you're joining us, please let us know where you are joining us from
Mm,
within Nigeria and outside of Nigeria. You can put your name in the comment section and put your city so that we know where you are tuning in from. Okay. So right. So we're going to dive straight into it. I want you to. I mean, your CV is quite intimidating. Anytime I see those who have become doctors, and I'm looking at my own degree, I have one degree,
oh
only one
my
degree
goodness.
I have, and I see individuals who are doctors, and I'm like,
Mm,
I feel intimidated a little bit, but then I mean, is it easy to be interviewing a doctor? I mean, with a degree, it's not easy. So, I've read your CV, but I mean, for the sake of individuals who are here with us, you can go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, your life, and the things that you're doing right now, the
mm.
experience that you are making, the successes that you have been garnering for yourself as we begin to get into the conversation today.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Emeka Nubis. I would actually want to say, first and foremost, that in your own right, you also have a doctorate. It's just that that doctorate is not in academia. It's not in academics. It's in and it's not maybe conferred by any institution. But you are also a philosopher in the digital world, and in what you do in entrepreneurship and also for the young people. So it's quite a good one for you also. Good afternoon, everybody, and happy International Women's Day to everybody on this live video. I'm so super excited to be here again to be talking to you. So, like you have rightly heard, my name is Olufunke Samuel, and I'm here this morning or this afternoon, whichever time zone you're watching from, due to the International Women's Day celebration. It's really a day that women should celebrate. I wrote in the foreword of my Project Success Groups that women celebrate motherhood on Mother's Day. We celebrate Workers' Day, but it's quite interesting that currently on International Women's Day, we barely celebrate ourselves. It's a day in which women are supposed to celebrate their person, their identity, not just motherhood, not just fatherhood, not just childhood, or not just marriage. It's a day we celebrate our person. It's a day we celebrate our purpose. It's a day we celebrate our identity. So this is why this day for me is key, because if you celebrate other people, who is there to celebrate you personally as the woman? And if you don't also celebrate yourself, how do you expect people to celebrate you? So it's a conversation I'm actually looking forward to, and we will still move to that. So as per my own self, I am a women development advocate. I am also a research and development consultant, and I'm a sales and marketing advocate. Anything that has to do with women, research and development, sales and marketing, you will see me there. I've consulted severally, by the grace of God, for diverse international organizations. I've consulted for international organizations, Nigerian organizations, individuals on research and social research, particularly social research. So that is on the aspect of research. And on the aspect of women development, I host the Mrs. Online Facebook community. The Mrs. Online Facebook community is a community for women who wants to become more. It's a community for mature women who do not want to feel burdened by the weight of motherhood or by the weight of marriage. And they want to express themselves beyond their status, beyond their responsibilities, beyond their challenges. But the responsibilities and the challenges are actually limiting them, and they need that support system. And that is what we do on the Mrs. Online. I'm sorry, I don't know whether Mr. Emeka Novice is still here. I can only see myself.
Yes, I'm here. If I leave the background, it's because I want
Okay,
you to
okay,
be
okay, okay,
full,
fantastic.
the full frame so that everybody will
Okay,
focus on you.
fantastic. Okay,
I'm
fantastic.
just a, I'm just a messenger. You are the main person.
Okay, okay. So the Mrs. Online, like I was explaining, is a community, is an online premium space where we help women, mature women. When I say mature women, women that are already maybe over 25 years above, to realize that there is more to them, to help them achieve that more, and to also allow that more not to be limited by the responsibilities and challenges of whatever status they are. Maybe they are single moms, they are divorcees, they are widows. All those identities have their challenges, and those challenges have the capability to limit women if we are not careful. And that is the purpose of the Mrs. Online, to help women to do all they have to do, find personal fulfillment in themselves and in their calling. Okay, on this matter of sales and marketing, I'm an advocate of sales and marketing. I love what Mr. Nobis is doing when it comes to marketing. And I've bought several of his books. I have Your Book Will Sell. I have I have a lot of his courses, social media audience. There's nothing he launches that I do not buy, because I'm also a student of marketing. And a lot of times I take my students or my women on sales and marketing, digital marketing, particularly topics. So this is what I have been doing with the Mrs. Online, with my research and development work. I also consult for postgraduate students on research methodologies. A lot of them, you know, a lot of them have escaped school a long while ago, and they are not currently in tune with how research methods are done, or maybe there's been a study gap, there's a study year gap, and they need people to consult them to help them achieve their research outcomes. But these are the different aspects of me, and I'm able to. I cannot say that this is the most I have passion for. If I want to say this is the most I have passion for, I would look at the time I put in into each of them. And recently, I think that that falls into women development, because I've actually put in a lot of structures into building women. During COVID, we did a lot of a lot of programs. Pardon me. We had a lot of programs. We had for teachers. We trained them on how to use the classroom skills they had. They usually mark notes, they compile notes, they help their students to edit notes. So we felt that, okay, these teachers will be good in editing and proofreading. And we came together and we took tutors, we took facilitators, grouped them into classes and started teaching teachers because they were the most affected by COVID. The same thing with nurses. And of course, we do a lot of things that have to do with empowering and developing the mindset of the woman. We believe that if the mindset is developed, if the mindset is the way it's supposed to be, it will affect the outside. If the inside is good, the outside will be better. I don't know. Do you want me to continue? Because maybe I should just drill down to Project Success Scoops now.
Yeah, go ahead, Ma. Go ahead, Ma. Tell us about the project
Okay,
and
fantastic.
these strategies. Tell us about the challenges because I was looking at what you do with Mrs. Online, and
Exactly.
you are helping women to rise over marital, cultural, societal, gender-based issues, right? And
Exactly.
the project you are doing, you've released today, is also helping women to understand what they need to do. You know, the
Mm.
strategies and the gemstones and everything to be able to rise and become phenomenally successful. So go ahead, Ma. Share with
Okay.
us, and when you're done, people will ask questions.
Okay. Okay. So fantastic. I think I should just give a little bit of a background to this. When I got married, I found out that I was just like giving out myself. I was giving out myself. And at some point, I felt overwhelmed. I felt like, okay, if I keep giving like this, who is the person that will give back to me? You know, there are a lot of things you want to do, but childcare, uh, home responsibilities seemed to be like something my generation didn't actually prepare for. So it became very overwhelming, and I almost got into depression. That is this how I'm going to continue spending my life changing pampers, changing nappies, picking children from the school, looking at what to cook at home and all that without really pursuing. I haven't really discovered myself at that time. Like I just went into marriage and everything just started happening. And together with the aforementioned, it started getting to me. So I started seeking help. I started talking to people. I started seeking tutorship, mentorship, consultancies. And I found out that a lot of women were in my situation. And after I thought that I got some hold of what I was doing, I was inspired to start the Mrs. Online newsletter. We started with a newsletter. After starting with a newsletter, we started disseminating once a week in Lagos, and people came with nice feedbacks. You know, the internet was not so, it was already rampant, but it never occurred to me that we could move it into a community. I just wanted the publication that would address the gaps I saw. But of course, my husband and my pastor at that time came to me and said, Funke, you need to take this thing online. Nobody does all these things offline again. You need to go online. And I was that time I was still studying for a PhD. You know, I was studying for a PhD, but so everything was just like getting at me. So we started the Facebook community and we started encouraging women to become more. We started encouraging them. You are not just a baby mama. You are not just a kitchen mother. You are who you are. You are more than your job. You are more than your school. You are more than your husband. You are more than just a mother. You are a personality. And you know, when you start something, you might not see clearly to the end of that journey. When you take a step, I believe the next step will unfold. The next step will unfold. And that was how we started. At some point, I created a book, Success Secrets Every Woman Must Know. I wanted to use it as a lead magnet. I created that book and I rolled it out on Facebook adverts, and I got massive responses. Massive, massive, massive. Started calling, people were coming in, we need a copy of your book. Anywhere I dropped that book, people would ask for it. So it occurred to me that women are hungry to have success secrets. They are hungry to have success strategies. They either feel they don't know, or they feel that what I know is outdated, or what I know, I don't know how to implement it. Or, you know, there were so many issues that just wanted them to have that book because that book like had the right, it resonated with their situation. So I now thought that, okay, if people wanted this book, how can I make it better? Because I'm somebody that always likes to make things better. I said, how can I make it better? I said, that success secret every woman must know was just from my own perspective. So the inspiration just came that if you can get the success secret of so many other women that are even doing much better than you, and you're able to compile it and present it as a gift to women that are maybe on level 1 or level 2, depending on level they are, and from diverse disciplines, if you're able to get a collection and put it together like a compendium, it will really, really help the average woman that you have passion for. And I'm like, oh, good, this is a very brilliant idea. But how do I make this idea get into the hands of more women than are within my community? At the Mrs. Online Facebook community, currently we have 8,000 women. So I'm like, I cannot collect secrets, strategies of big, big, big women and just limit it to my community. Because I found out that I've just been like limited to my community. I've not been reaching out of my community. So, and it's like that spirit was just talking to me that, okay, you make this thing a gift. Nobody really gives women gifts on International Women's Day, of course. And if they do, maybe they subsidize, they use it to promote their person, or they use it to promote their products, and at a discounted rate or something. So if you do this and you present it as a communal gift, that's where the word communal gift came. Gather their secrets and strategies in scoops and dish it out. So I started talking to people. I spoke with Yomamba Biri. She said, okay, you can add stories to it. I spoke with Uduma Ikoro. I spoke with my husband, and the thing kept getting bigger and bigger. And she also suggested, okay, you can use volunteers to make this thing work. You need like 100 volunteers. And I started approaching women that were doing well. I approached a lot of women with my team. We put together a team, of course. We approached like more than 100 people, and some of them would respond to you. So this is talking about the challenges now and the strategies for these success groups. So some of them will get back to you. This is a very nice initiative. Unfortunately, I cannot partake of it. I had my eye on some very big, big names. And when the email started coming in, so I'm sorry, we cannot participate. Like 5 rejection straight, back, 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 back. I ran back to my husband and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? This idea is a great idea. These women are rejecting. You said because you are targeting the top names. They don't know you. They think you want to use them. So why don't you start with the level you are, reach within your network, and let's see a volume and do this thing in volumes. When you have done in volumes, you can present volume 1, volume 2. By the time they see, maybe make this an annual thing, everybody will come and they will really see that this is genuinely a community development service. So that was why that was how I scaled down a little, and I started reaching to the women in my network. And of course, a lot of them also responded positively. And we were targeting 70 women actually. So we messaged, like we mailed, we called like over 100 women. And at the end of the day, the response we got for the first volume was just a little over. In fact, some people would even say they will do. It's a nice idea, we're coming ahead. But when you start pestering them for their submission, because we had submission dates, every woman personally wrote their story. We asked them to write a successful milestone in their life, how they overcame it, and of course, to share the strategies that they feel every woman should know that help them in their own life. So some of them, when we started, but we gave a limit to the number of words. So when we started pressurizing, since November, my brother, we've been on this. So when we started pressurizing, some of them had to back out. I'm sorry, I can no longer do this. I thought I'll be able to do it. We'll give you a feature. But the support was massive. We had volunteers coming. And of course, another challenge we had on this project is the elections, the no cash situation. At some point, volunteers were no longer responding because they were battling with how to get cash. These were intervening variables that we never even imagined could interrupt the success of the project. So they were not even responding. There was no cash. There was no fuel. People were down with the rigors of the daily life. So we had to just slow down and buy into their emotions. We know what you are going through. Thank you for volunteering at this time. let's just take it one step at a time. We're praying for you. We are also in this together. And of course, within 1 week again, things picked up. And so the idea for Project Success Groups, in summary, is to put the book into the hands of 1 million women. And I knew that I couldn't do this alone. I need more stories, more strategies, more secrets. I needed to make it more valuable. My team, we sat down and we started reaching out to these ladies. And thank God for people like Amina Grace Chaplet, Olufunmilayo, Ibisuyo Sola Lawal, Joy, and all. They all came on board because they are also moderators on the Mrs. Online platform. So this kicks back to your support system. Every woman has to have a very good support system. In fact, every person, every individual has to have a very good support system, because when a vision comes, the provision is always around you. So it depends on the way you have managed that provision. If I had relegated them, I'm not somebody that I just want to be the only one in the limelight. I allow everybody to shine. I do not think that you should dim your light so that other people can shine, or you use I allow everybody to shine. So if I had been somebody that was just like all about myself, I'm sure they would not have helped me on this project. And this is another success strategy and success secret. Do not see your fellow woman as a rival. We should not see our fellow woman as a potential threat. The sky is enough for everybody to fly. So when this project was announced, they were like, do you want to do this under the Mrs. Online brand? I say, of course. I don't have any other brand for women other than the Mrs. Online. And we thank God for where we are today. Today we released the book. It's like a 70-page ebook. We also had challenges, pardon me, in funding, because I started this project like joke. Even though I knew it was a project, but it did not eventually occur to me that if you want to reach 1 million women, you also have to have like a 1 million pound. So I just assumed that, okay, contributors will share on their network, I will share, but at the end of the day, I calmed down, and really did my calculations and drew out a budget for this, because I was so passionate that nobody will want to collect money from you for this. Now they see that it's a project that will benefit the whole environment, the women. You are not getting anything from it at all. But at the end of the day, I calmed down and spoke to myself that no, this is the best way to go about these things. So we are using contributors, we're using volunteers, we're using the network of the contributors. And of course, thank God for Mr. Emeka Nobis that taught us how to create a wait list. So we're also using the method of a wait list to recruit people to share the word. The main aim is to put these success strategies of women that have achieved their own purpose, or that they have gone a higher level in achieving their own purpose, put their stories, their secrets in scopes onto the laps, to deliver it onto the laps of the upcoming women, or the ambitious women, so that everybody can be properly guided and encouraged. I think I've spoken a lot on this.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for this. When you were speaking, you made mention of it, and I just want us to draw some just to have a deeper conversation in it. Sometimes people say that um, women are not supportive of other women,
Mm,
or that women don't like other women. Men can come into a room and they can immediately connect and high five and become pali palis. But it looks like people say this thing about women becoming the enemies of fellow women. What do you have to say to this? I feel that it's a nasty ideology. I feel that it's not correct. But everywhere you go, we keep hearing it. Women being the enemies of their fellow women. That kind of thing. If anything happens online, we find out that, say for example, something happens to a man online. Let's say he committed a fraud or something. You find other men tending to want to support to support or lend their voices. But when it has to do with the women, you see the women, even, I mean, they are the ones who want to tear down and pull apart and all that. Do you think there's some form of truth to this allegation or to this ideology? And in your experience, what can you say regarding women supporting other women to truly rise? Because when you look at it, in Africa, to say as a whole, women, I don't know, the percentage of women who are even in political leadership, it's quite small. And we want women to come into this, and they can be able to do this if there's a lot of economic empowerment, a lot of riches in the hands of women. So, what can you say about this? And from your experience, do you think it's true? And if it is true, why should women do that? And how they can be able to override that kind of idiotic mentality, regarding supporting other women and growing successfully.
Okay, that's a fantastic point. I would I would first say that there is a proverb that says that there is nowhere we don't cook at night. It's a Yoruba proverb. It says that there is nowhere we do not cook at night. In every house, people cook at night. Now let's apply this proverb to the current discussion. There is nowhere there is no enmity. Enmity is not a gender-based indicator. Men also struggle with that. Women also struggle with that. I would not like it to be limited alone to, oh, women don't support women. And I think that it's a narrative that has continued for long because people just picked it up and like to continue talking about it, and it has now become what we call like a norm, because it also happens with the men. In fact, I'm also a leader in my church, and of course, not just in my church, in other churches before I became a leader in my current church. And I also noticed that men have that same issue, even in leadership, amongst the highest level of leadership. And we have more men in church leadership, okay, where I came from, than women. And you will find out that they are always at one another's throats. If one person is always looking for one position and the other person is always looking for that position, and you'll be like, these are men. Beyond that, there is also an issue of ego. Oh, he cannot talk to me like that. I'm also a man like him. I also have a woman at home. So the point here for me is that it happens everywhere. People see whatever they choose to see. People see what, if you choose to see jealousy, you will see jealousy in the female gender. If you choose to see enmity, you will see enmity. What I know is that even if that was the case before, the narrative is changing. Like I said in my welcome notes in that project, Success Cooks book, none of these women ever came back to ask me that what is in it for me for this project. Okay, you want me to share my story? You want me to? The only person that asked something close to that was the person asked that, will I, okay, I'm trying to remember the way she framed the question now. The person like, okay, yeah, he asked that, will this book be given out for free? Immediately she heard that, yes, it's going to be given out for free. She just, she didn't say anything again. And she said she will come on board. So what you focus on will grow. That is my own ideology. If you focus on enmity, it will keep growing for you. If you focus on envy, women not supporting women, women being bad, it will continue to grow for you. And of course, that is from one other side. The other side is we ourselves are complaining. What are we doing to change the situation? What are we doing to change this narrative? What are we going outside of our comfort zone to create opportunities for women? I worked with a woman. Let me just quickly cite this example. I worked with a woman like 3 years ago. I never knew she was based in the UK. She just put out the advert and I applied for it as a virtual role. And when we started working one-on-one, she began to like me. And I was shocked within 2 months of working with her, because it was like a remote role and she knew that I had capacity to handle other jobs. You will not believe that this man will send vacancies to me, job vacancies to me, while I was still working with her as a full-time staff. It was a full-time employment, but of course, the task could not occupy me full-time. So she would say, Funke, this job is good for you. I can just try and apply for it. It's your type they are looking for. You are a very good fit for this role. And that was how I got my very dominant international opportunity to work with a firm in Hong Kong from Nigeria. And I was being paid in euro because I worked with a woman. She kept sending me vacancies that, okay, you can apply for this. It will, as long it will not, I'm sure I am confident that it will not affect your role. So we ourselves that we are complaining, what type of front are we bringing? If I are giving this woman a front that, okay, oh, I cannot handle both her work and the job opportunities that she's, because already it means that she sized me up, that if I bring more work along across the path of this lady, she will not put aside my own work and focus on the other work. She can handle it. So what type of front are we ourselves projecting to people? Who are we personally? You that you are complaining, or me that I'm complaining that women are not supporting women. Have I assessed myself, my manner of approach, the way I talk, the way I think? Is that what I always think about? Because if what you always think about is the negative, you will attract the negative. But if you expect that as I'm going out or as I'm making this approach, I will get positive responses. I will see somebody that somewhere that will say, hey, what are you selling there? It will happen to you. So, like I said, it's a two-way street thing. Check yourself. How are you responding to issues? How are you handling issues? What are you yourself doing to create the change? And of course, it happens with the men folk too. So I can cite so many examples of women that are supported. Like I've already talked about my moderators on the Business Online platform and all that. Thank you very much.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much for this. I want to commend your work, what you're doing in that community, right? And I wrote down what you sent to me as your bio. You know how you're helping these members. There are more than 8,000 now in the Mrs. Online Facebook group, and you mentioned marital, cultural, social, societal, and gender-based. From the conversations and interactions within the community, what do you think are, or what have you seen to be the big challenges? Because we're looking today at women exploits, challenges, strategies, and successes. What do you think, or what have you observed while in the group, interacting in the group, to be some of the thorny challenges regarding, number one, marital, cultural, societal, and gender based? And what is your community doing to help women to deal with these challenges?
Okay, fantastic question. What I have observed, I've mentioned a little of it. It starts with the foundation. And our foundation is basically tied to both our culture and our society. Our foundation, I will repeat again, is tied to our culture, your society, your environment. The average Nigerian woman has been brought up in such a way that could limit her chances. Pardon me. The average Nigerian woman has been brought up in such a way that could limit her chances. You know, there are societal stereotypes, there are cultural stereotypes that have been encoded in our subconscious mind, that have been encoded in our subconscious mind. Pardon me. My laptop is about to go off. Okay. 1 second, please. So it's been encoded in our mindset, stereotypes, that this is how you should sit, this is how you should talk. If they don't want this, then you should not want it. If they are there, you cannot speak. If they are not there, you can speak. If they are there, they shouldn't do that. You are the one that is supposed to do that. So all these do's, don'ts, they've like built houses in our heads. They've rented full bedrooms in our mindset. And that is where to start. Because even when you are trying to relay some messages to some people, until they experience it in a very wrong way. And that is why a lot of women still die in domestic abuse. That is why a lot, in fact, you'll be like, all these people that are dying, some people are still staying in abusive homes. Are like, upon all these interventions, this mind shift that is going on, some people are still planning on getting married without knowing who they are, without a good source of income, without, everything that can subject them to abuse is there, that we teach, that we talk about, that they experience, but still they will enter. Why? It's because of the societal and cultural buildings that have taken a hold in our lives. And this is the main issue. It also affects our our finances too. Because if you have this mentality that, okay, as a woman, you cannot earn as much as a man, or as a man, you cannot earn as a woman, you cannot earn as much as a man, or you cannot be as good as a man. All these are the limitations. For me, those are the foundations of the limitations that the average Nigerian woman faces. Notice that I said the average Nigerian woman. Of course, not everybody is like that. But the average Nigerian woman is, it might have less self-confidence, might have less access to opportunities, income, self-esteem issues, and you would always think that you are all about marriage, you are all about childbearing, you are all about baby making, you are all about bed making, you are all about love making. And that is the narrative that I'm trying to change for my own generation. So what do we do? How do we do this in the Mrs. Online? We have several programs. We have several themes. We have several agenda. Like, we have a program called Break the Bias. We have grouped our activities first and foremost into emotional, um, physical, all the aspects of the well-being of a woman. We have structured our activities: emotional, physical, spiritual is not there, marital is there. We've structured all those, so we just fit each program under each theme. So for many of these things, like, we have a challenge called Break the Speaking Bias. We help them to break their speaking bias. We get a book, we all read, and somebody comes online to do a Facebook Live video on it. We invite different women to speak to us on their success stories. We have interviewed over 500 women. Sorry, no, not 500 women. I've interviewed over, pardon me, like over 100 women in that group. And this is the first time I'm actually getting an interview myself, like a live interview myself. So I'm more, I think I'm better at just staying there and asking the questions and responding to the questions. So we have challenges that break speaking biases, that breaks reading biases, because it helps them to work on their mindset. We have programs that also happens, like conferences, like meetings. We have a lot of challenges. Like, currently, for this International Women's Day celebration, we also had another challenge. We called it Celebrate Yourself Challenge. Since December, we asked women to be saving, if it is just 10 kobo, 500 kobo every day, so that today they'll be able to do whatever they like to celebrate themselves. Maybe buy a wig, go to a restaurant, eat out, not just to feel good, to celebrate themselves. So on the area of finances, we do a lot of free trainings. We train on Facebook adverts, we train on copywriting, we train on editing and proofreading, graphics design, and also for the children of our women during summer. I believe that the welfare of the children is also embodied around the welfare of the mother. So during summer, we gather all the children of our members into a group and we train them. We train them on graphics, we train them on copywriting, video editing, we add some cooking, house chores, cooking skills into it, such that during one of our training sessions, one of the children asked me that, "Mommy, I would like to make a video for my mommy's business. Can you give me an idea of a content that I will use to form that video?" Her mom was selling rice. And before you know it, she already made a video to help our mom for her rice business. So these are the things we do: challenges, reading, speaking, conferences, seminars, and all that.
Wow, thank you so much, Ma. I mean, you're doing a whole lot to be able to emancipate the lives of many women. I'm so excited and happy about what you're doing. And you're saying that you've always been in the background. I mean, I think it's time for you not to be always be in the background. It's time for you to be at the forefront. You are the leader. You are pushing forth a generation, to receive the light. So your voice has to be heard. I mean, you have to have a lot more conversation, a lot more interviews so that people will understand what it is you're doing. All right. So as I start to wrap up on this conversation, I'm so excited that you are an author of 4 books. I mean, when someone authors a book,
Mm.
it seems to have this special likeness or love for the individual. I mean, with all the things that you do, it's just beautiful that you take all those things and put in form of a book. So go ahead and tell us about these 4 books. And while you're telling us about books, tell individuals or women who are listening about the importance of also documenting and authoring their own books, one as a means of legacy, as a means of impact, and as a means of income. All right. So go ahead, Ma, and share us with us your journey, your authoring journey, and lessons and your takes regarding
Mm.
authoring books.
Oh, thank you so much. About my books, let me start from the last question about telling women the importance of writing books. I think the first time I got to know that I could write a book was from a book by Ejiri Edewo, A to Z and all that, and I picked it and I started reading it, and I'm like, okay. So I began to have a mindset shift that you do not need to be an authority to write a book. Writing a book is what makes you an authority, as against what I thought before, that okay, you have to be an authority before your writing of that book that makes you an authority. And of course, recently I relocated to Abuja, and where I live in Abuja has to do with relates to where a lot of my Muslim sisters stay. And these my sisters are very, they are wives to very prominent people, senators, House of Rep members, and some of them got married before being fully able to express themselves in the English language. So when we came in as a Yoruba educated woman, they received me and started coming to my house. We started smiling together. And one of them said, Mama, what you are doing for women, I like it too. Can you start a session for us where you'll be teaching us English? I really want to improve my English language proficiency. I go out with my husband functions and I'm not really able to speak confidently. And that was how I started a class for them. While I was in that class, having a class, she invited some of her friends. They will come to the front of my balcony and I will teach them for free. Within my busy schedule, I will teach them 2 times, 3 times a week for free. These are prominent wives to prominent individuals. So they started calling one another, they will come, we'll discuss. And while I was training them, I discovered that one of them had a lot of experience in marriage. She has gone for marriage courses, she has gone for different in their Islamic classes. And I encouraged her. I said, Madam, you can write a book. And she also had a women organization, like 40,000 women organization. 40,000 women organization, membership women organization across the whole of Nigeria. And I started encouraging that you can write a book about your organization. You can write a book about marriage because you are a certified marriage expert in Islamic rights. And currently I am working with her in writing her book. She already has that audience. Why I shared that story is because if somebody like her has that zeal to write a book, how much more you and me that you're on Facebook, you're on social media, you're on Twitter, and the opportunities are many. So writing your book does not have to do with you becoming an authority. When you are when you are writing your book makes you an authority. It's not the other way around. So the importance of writing your book, it gives you a lot of openings into international communities. You can publish on Amazon where your voice cannot reach. Your book will always reach that place. I got to know a lot of people on social media platforms here because I read from them. A lot of the people I move with on social media, I read their book, I read their posts, I read their comments. So back to my own book. The first book I wrote, I've already spoken about it. Success Secrets Every Woman Must Know. Success Secret Every Woman Must Know is downloadable, and I usually give it out for free as a PDF file to people that join my group. The other book I wrote is how to select your your research problem, how to choose a research topic. Because of my research background, I know that many people have issues in choosing research topic. So how to choose a research topic. The third book I would like to talk about, that one is on my Facebook wall, AB Researchers and Writers Academy. It's on Seller. I can share the link later. If you're a researcher and you are struggling with choosing a research topic, the third book I want to talk about is I'm almost concluded writing that. It has to do with life after 40, and I try to beware of age 40. Beware because I just clocked 40 that time, and I was like, wow, it hit me like below the belt. I never expected it. I just started seeing a lot of things that came with age 40. It's like, so I just woke up and found myself in the 40s. And I knew that if I had that inspiration before, I would have prepared better for that age. So I felt, let me create awareness for people to beware of age 40 so that as they are approaching that age, they will know the things they're supposed to do. And we actually went all out. I did a survey. I went to Ibadan, I went to Lagos, we took enumerators. We did a survey of people that are over the age of 40 years. And we asked for their regrets, we asked for their successes, we asked for their challenges, we asked for their everything about them that they feel if they were older or younger, they would have loved to correct. And so we use, so it's a fact-based school book, pardon me, it's a fact-based book, and I've compiled all that. It's currently with the editors and proofreaders, and we are working on that. I hope I've not overshot my time, pardon me. So the last book is also on research methodologies and is on my AB Researchers and Writers Academy.
Fantastic. So somebody's asking, I don't get the name of the Facebook community. Ella, the name of the Facebook community is The Mrs. Online. Everything is together. The Mrs. Online. THEMRS Online. Everything all together. You can search for it and then you can find the community and you can join. Okay, so thank you so much. We have done 47 minutes so
Wow.
far this conversation,
Wow.
and I'm so happy that
Wow.
we are having this conversation. So,
Wow.
guys, if you are joining us or you have been on this live stream, please do share this to your timeline so that other individuals can participate in what it is that we have been talking about. All right, ma. So let's call it the wrap. What are your future plans for 2023? Tell us about the things that you're planning to do for women and maybe for men, and your future goals and aspirations as we start to bring this conversation to a close.
All right. Thank you very much. Before I'm cut out, I don't know when that will be. I want to seize this opportunity to say a very huge thank you to you. Every time I come into your inbox, you always receive me very well. And thank you also for this opportunity to speak with your audience on a platter of gold. I really appreciate this spotlight. So, on our future goals, and thank you to our audience too. Thank you for making me feel at home. Thank you to all my members in the Mrs. Online community. If not for you, I might not be here today. And thank you to my family members and all. So, for our future plans for the Mrs. Online community, actually, I have a plan to have like an online university focused on women alone, and also an online marketplace focused on women alone. That online university will it will address every aspect of women's life. They will just be able, it's not an academic university, it will be a business and life university where women can log in and study about how to grow their businesses, how to start their businesses, entrepreneurship. They will learn as much as they can on entrepreneurship and also on personal development. So it will be like a life and business university. And we've already started that on a small scale. All the trainings we are doing, all the guests we bring in to talk about different things. So these are just things that if we have funding for, we could partner with lots of people to have a women focused business and life university to help more women do better with whatever they have. And on the what was the other question? Am I missing out any other thing? Okay, then the other is that all?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so the other project I said I wanted to we want to do for women apart from is the women alone marketplace. You know, it's something that has really been on my mind. I know somebody would want to ask, why do you want to have a marketplace alone for women? It's a gender thing. It's just a gender thing because many of these women have skills, they have product, but they are suffering. They have, you will see people begging you, come and teach me Facebook advert, come and teach me how to write a book, come and do this, come and do that. So it's like the opportunities are there, but with more love, more guidance, and better resources, women can do much better with their lives. So the marketplace will give them access to wholesalers. They will be able to buy in bulk prices, and of course retailers would also, so everybody will be able to connect together to have, to give more women sales opportunity. Remember, I also told you that I have a sales and marketing affiliation. So, and these are the things that we are looking at to be able to encourage women to do this year. And of course, International Girls Child Day is coming. We are doing another edition of this project, Success Cooks, but it will just be for the girl child, and we'll package it basically to give it to them so that they would also be willing and capable and ready to face life as a woman. So we are already started talking to like 20 other women that will be willing to share their stories as girls with these younger girls. That one is coming up in October, and these are things that you'll be doing by the grace of God this year. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Olufunke. Thank you, Doctor, for this conversation. I'm so excited and happy that we've had this conversation today. And I look forward to a lot more women. I mean, you want this book to be in the hands of 1 million women. We
Mm,
hope and we pray that 1 million women get to download and read the book
exactly.
and do what in the book talks about. Thank you
Mm,
so much
mm,
for being part of this session with me today. I
mm.
look forward to hosting you a whole lot more in the coming days. God bless you and your team for the effort that you've put in to make today a reality for a lot of women. God
Mm.
bless you. From me here in the city of Port Harcourt to you, anywhere you are tuning in from Nigeria and out of the nation, God bless you. All I am saying and wishing is that you take everything that we've shared during this live stream, put them into practice, and get the results that you truly desire. God
Thank you
bless
very
everyone,
much.
and
Thank you.
goodbye.
Bye bye.
Bye.